Hi everyone, welcome or welcome back to my channel. I hope you're all doing good. My name is Mishka, and in today's video we will be preparing for the businesses and hobbies expansion pack by building a cute cafe and a residential lot on the same lot. With a new pack, apparently you would be able to run a small business or a business and then have your sim live at that place as well, so like a live-in business. And so I'm building this lot for that purpose, hopefully to set it as a cafe slash bakery, because I think it can be run as both, and then have the residential lot be occupied by the person who owns the bakery. I don't think that you can have someone different live in the residential lot, but I don't know. I would only be able to say once I get the pack. So for this lot, there is a CC free version, so you'll see me build the CC free version, and then I also have a CC version, but not much changes in between the versions. I built like little display boxes on the sides or display windows, and so instead of having them filled with debug items, because if you know, using debug items in a build, sometimes debug items can go off, but there's not a lot of baking clutter in the game. And so what I just did was use some CC then to fill the display windows, and then also to fill some display boxes at the order area, so where your sims order from the cafe. And the reason why I made this a pink cafe, by the way, I do need some name ideas for this cafe, because right now I just have it as pink cafe, which is not how I always want to have it. So the reason why I made it this pink cafe is because initially I did have one here, but it was so boxy and it just does not reflect my build style. Also, I have other plans for Magnolia Promenade at the moment. I want to make it like a shopping district and obviously have some place for Sims to go and eat and so on. So across the road I have a build that is called JNS Square. I think that was the original name of the lot. And on that lot, I have 4 different shops. And if you want to see that build, it's in my what I mean by I want functional or multifunctional lots video. It's that build basically. And so what I wanted to do was to build this one or rebuild the cafe to kind of reflect the build style or the outside aesthetic of that build. So that's why I decided to rebuild it, and that's why I decided to use a pink cafe. Also, the one that I originally built had a lot of CC in it, and so I was really like challenging myself to not use any, and I think I made something really pretty without any CC. There were days where I did not believe that was possible for me, but at the time that I bought the original one, I didn't have a lot of packs. So in my defense, that was why I used so much CC. But I'm definitely better at building now than I was then, and that boxy shape had to go. It had to go. And also with the idea of these multifunctional lots, like having, or not multifunctional lots, but having the residential lot and also the business on the same lot, it just opens up so many opportunities to have more things on a lot than you would ordinarily have without the pack. I'm excited for the pack. I've been watching like a few of the early content on it. There are some simmers at the moment that are testing the pack before it's released next week, I think the 6th of March. And so far I really like the build stuff, mainly the things that would go on the outside structure of the build, so like the colors of the paint, the windows are my favorite. I love a window with a frame or with a trim, and we don't have a lot of that, except for if you have like Discover University, then you would have that windows with a trim. And so I'm excited. But for the indoor furniture, you can see that it has a lot of Scandinavian elements or inspiration. It has a Scandinavian inspiration, but I don't know. I would like something a little bit different, but maybe this was not the pack to do that with. I am excited though to see it, and I can just like imagine all of the things I'm gonna build with that being pottery, obviously that's added now, tattoo parlor, and then also the candy shop. So for Magnolia Promenade, there is 4 lots, and so I have the JNS Square, and then I have the Pink Cafe and a residential lot, and then across the road I had a baby store or baby or infant slash toddler store where you could buy like what you need. And obviously I use CC for that one as well, because I had prams in there, I had baby baths, I had some products that I got from a mod. I think it's by QMBB. They basically make functional baby care products that you can use. And so I had a lot of that in there. I had some of Panda Sama stuff. Panda Sama makes the childbirth mod, and in that mod you get like breastfeeding pumps, you get formula. So I had all of that in there. And then on the top section there was a section for kids and toddlers for toys and crafting items and so on. But I really want to rebuild that as well to kind of reflect this kind of style. And then next to this build, there is this massive lot. And I'm wondering, after I build in the new world, obviously, I'm wondering if I shouldn't build something else there, like a tattoo slash pottery slash candy store, like a multifunctional situation, I guess. But the only thing is, I don't know if you'd be able to set it that way and it would be able to function that way. So I will only be able to know if I get the pack, and I will have to see though once they start posting content with other expansion packs if it's going well, because it seems like everything is going well at the moment, but they only have the base game and the new pack that they are testing it out with. But you know, we will only really know about bugs once I feel like all the packs are introduced. And so I will wait and then I will purchase the pack. But it is quite expensive in South African rand, so I would have loved to wait for a deal, or not a deal, a discount on the price on the pack. But expansion packs usually only go on discount like maybe 6 months after they released, so it would have been a long wait. And I kind of want the pre-order or the pre-order purchase items. That display is so pretty, and I think it would have made a great addition to this cafe. But for now I'm just building it with the packs that I have. And if you are not getting that pack, then you could still use this lot and just have your sim never leave the business or never leave the cafe, and run it as a bakery retail instead, because I don't think we can own cafes at the moment unless you have mods. So yeah, this is what you could use, or you could just have it as a lot, and then the top section could be decorative for architectural reasons, I guess. Yeah, so what I actually wanted to explain is I did a few custom flower boxes. You'll see on the entryway I placed the flowers on the top of it. So I placed the planter first. That plant is from City Living, and then I used a bunch of flowers from Love Struck, and I had to place each individual each individual flower, raise them up, place them in the planter, and then I had to rotate each one as well by itself, because if you use a tool mod to rotate objects so that you can slant them on their sides or something like that, there's a circle that goes around the object that shows you the direction in which you will be rotating. And so all of them are like going in different directions because of the fact that the build is actually on an angle and it's not straight. So it was so tedious for me to have to do it, but I guess that's the price I pay for wanting to use custom boxes instead of using the ones that we get from the game. It's just for the ones with the game, it is, or with the assets that I currently have from the packs that I have, none of the flowers were matching the pink, green, pastel that I wanted. You will see the darker flowers on the top, but I put that there because I did want to show some contrast between the top section of the build and then the bottom section. You'll actually see me later change the color of the stone or the brick on the top section of the build, because I just felt like the whites were washing it out a bit. And so yeah, I decided to change it to a more brown brick on some of the bump outs. And then for the windows, I was so happy when I found those windows from For Rent that's on the bottom section at the moment, because I was searching through the paints and the wallpapers and the bricks for this pink that I wanted to use, but none of it was like the proper pink. And then I stumbled across the window and I was like, this is the perfect pink. I'm just placing windows everywhere. And I did try the pink from the Cozy Bistro windows, but one, they don't come in the tall or light, and two, the pink was a lot lighter than I wanted. The four-end ones was just the perfect pink for me. So yeah, so I placed that everywhere, and then I just used the what do you call this? The display names from the Cozy Bistro kit to place on the sides of the build. And then I was looking for an awning as well, but the Cozy Bistro awnings didn't really fit in the space that I had. And I really like the Cozy Bistro ones because it has the little fairy lights hanging at the bottom. So I used the one that is from Forend, and then I used the little campus kit I forget what the lights are called, but the string lights to kind of make it look like the one from the Cozy Bistro kit. I just love how that awning lights up at night. And I think I've explained this in a previous build of mine that I build for the nighttime sometimes in the Sims. So I'll always make sure that the lighting is really good. Because for me, since I play mostly with young adults, I like to take them out during the nighttime. And yes, I probably wouldn't take them to a bakery during the nighttime, but still, I want this bowl to look quite nice at night, just in case, you know, you do decide to take them out at night. And I really wanted the cafe to kind of be aesthetic, like you want to go out with the girls and then take photos. And so I really put a lot of effort into trying to create something that is very aesthetically pleasing, I guess. Yeah, so I also have a blue version of this. It's not exactly the same, but I bought that when the Cozy Bistro kit actually came out to kind of showcase the kit. And so I bought that, I think, in what's the world that comes with Discover University? Brychester. Yes, I built it in Brychester. And so it's a blue version of essentially this pink version, and it only uses there's no mods in CC in there, if I'm not mistaken. It's on my gallery. But for that one, I did not decorate the apartment that I put at the top. So even before this pack was even a thought, I was already building lots with, you know, this residential section on the top. Most of the time just because I wanted it to look a little bit better than sometimes when you use a single floor or one floor in the Sims, it can look quite boxy, so you build up to kind of make it look a little bit better. So that's what I was doing with that build. So if you want a blue version of this, you can do that, but just know you need to decorate the top yourself and then also place stairs, because I forgot to place stairs. And that seems to be a recurring theme, because in my Mediterranean villa, I actually forgot to place pool stairs. I only realized after I uploaded the builds, and I didn't feel like I needed to re-upload them just because of the pool stairs. But yeah, so now I am busy with the order area. And one thing that was bothering me the entire time is where you order, it just wasn't fitting in. It really wasn't fitting in. And so I kept it because I thought you can't put half walls in front of it because then Sims won't be able to order. So I didn't think to put it behind the half wall and then, build a half wall around it basically, because I didn't want to create a situation where the Sims could not order. So I then finally, and initially that was not even an idea that came to my mind. So finally I was like, okay, you know what, let me just try this out. So later on, I actually do put the half wall around it. And then I went in game and I tested it, and your Sims can still order and they can still collect their orders. Yeah, so that works. And then what I am doing at the moment is, so in my previous pink cafe, actually, I had this, not the exact same wall, but I did have a flower wall in the same way that I did there, but I just took the wreaths from Seasons, and then I placed that like so many of them to kind of make this flower wall. um Initially I was contemplating whether I should include the flower wall again, but I just love the colors so much, how they blend. And what I put on before that was the wainscoting from Decor to the Max. I love using those things. I use them on other places in this build as well. um I just think it makes for such a good decoration to take a wall from simple to like something different. For here, you can't really see it behind the flower wall, but on the top, I kind of just wanted the way it looked at the top, and that's why I kept it there. And then the signs on the side is from Cozy Bistro. Now, I was really struggling because I think I mentioned this before in decorating this to look like a bakery and kept not struggling to, maybe I should say struggling to clutter it like a cafe or bakery, because even though we can create bakeries in the Sims 4, we don't have a lot of clutter outside of debug. And like I said, debug's items go off, so then you'll have a stinky place. Hopefully none of the things I place down will do that. Some of debug's items also disappear in love mode, so you'll actually see in one of the window displays, there's a cake missing. I only realized after I uploaded that the cake had disappeared, but it was because it was a debug cake, which is exactly why I'm recommending the CC, if you do play with CC, to place that in the window boxes instead, so then you won't have to worry about all of those things with debug. And then also, if you wanted to, I built a kitchen in here as well. And so you can then have your some bake some goods and then put them in the windows. So for this, I wanted to create a custom light focal point. It was just looking too boring in the beginning. I felt like something was missing. So I put spandrels up, which is the new spandrels that we got with the STX drop recently. And then I placed these lights from Love Struck in them, and you'll see these lights throughout the build. It was the only light that I felt like matched what I wanted, and so I just placed them everywhere, over every table, or not over every table, but most of the tables or seating that was against the walls. I made sure to then place lighting over them, because I didn't place any kind of lighting that would light up the entire place. I wanted it to look darker in some sections to give it a more cozy vibe, and I think you'll see that from the end of the when I show the not the previews, but like it's videos that slowly zooms in to show you what the rest of the cafe looks like. You'll see that some places are dimly lit, and then there's pink light and so on. Yeah, so now I'm just building. I also wanted a section where there could be these high chairs or stools to sit at, so I decided to build them around that section of the bar. And it is this section that actually prompted me to come up with a solution to put in front of this thing that we get with get to work, not get to work, get together for the cafes, because I just did not like it. And I've searched for CC versions of this as well, and there's not a lot. There's only ones that comes in wood swatches, and I don't always want to build with wood swatches in a bakery or a cafe. I know that's like a thing nowadays, but sometimes I want to build something really fancy that wood just simply does not go with it. So for I've also created a version, a white and gold version of a cafe, but that's also on a multifunctional lot that I placed in Windenburg, the world that comes with Get Together. And there is a cafe there, there's a market, and then there is a bookstore. I haven't put that on my channel yet. I think maybe I'll do a build tour, because I want to do build tours for all the previous builds that I did. The only problem is that with all the previous builds, most of them are CC, because like I said, I didn't have a lot of packs. So yeah, if anybody would want it, it would take me a lot more effort to upload a build with CC than it does when there is no CC. And I've realized that now, the amount of time that I've put into uploading builds with CC versus with no CC is kind of an incentive for me to not make CC builds anymore. But I will still make them because I just think sometimes CC is just way better than the games things. But I do love the games things. Okay, I was able to create this very pretty cafe, in my opinion, with just the game's assets. So what I'm doing right now is I've created a basement under, and I used this trick in my previous build with the Mediterranean build when I created the breakfast nook. I placed the couches in the benches, in the basement, sorry. I placed it in the basement and then I raised it up from the basement so that it's, to your Sims, it's not like it's in this area. So they won't interact with the couches, but I wanted the look of the couches. But I still wanted Sims to be able to sit there. So what I did is then erase it up through the basement, place the chair on the table that makes it look as if they would sit on the couch, and then size the chair down completely. You may see that the chair's legs are sometimes sticking out at the bottom of the couch, but I just put it there so that you can choose to have your sim go sit there. Now, because I did erase it up through the basement, when your Sims do choose to go and sit on the chairs that are in the couch, for example, they will walk through the couch. That's the only problem with this kind of thing. But for me, you know, aesthetics trumped functionality right here. So, and there's many other places where your Sims can go and sit without this problem. But it didn't bother me too much. And so I was placing pillows down to make it look more cozy, but I just felt like I needed more variety when it came to the cushions, because I only currently have the one cushion that I got with Modern Lux, and then the one that we got from the very first event. And they are the same pillows, they just have different swatches. So I was thinking, okay, what else can I place here to kind of create a little bit of variety in the pillows? And then I chose to do the meditation pool from Spa Day. And I just rotated it to slant on its side and then moved it up. But later I do also decide to move it up from the basement because I was scared then that, you know, Sims wouldn't be able to go and sit on the couch if I didn't do that. So then I started creating these window boxes. In a lot of my inspo photos for this build, there are these shelves or window displays of the cakes, I guess, that the person is selling. Now, I think a lot of them may have been AI because it's on Pinterest, and currently Pinterest is overrun with AI, but I tried to still use that idea to kind of create something in here. But the only problem is, and I only showed the one side because this video is quite long already, but I did like the same thing on the other side. And instead of placing that cakes and stuff, I placed, or not the cakes, but the, I don't know what to call it, but whatever I placed there, on the other side, I placed cupcakes that I got from Debug. But like I said, just be aware they may go off. And then I moved on to creating the other seating areas in the build. And I was wondering what else can I create? And so I decided to create these booth seating as well. And the wall was looking a little bit dull for me, so I used the wainscoting from Decor to the Max again. And then I think the wallpaper is from Paranormal. And then I used the lights from Spa Day to create this lights effects on the wainscoting and just made that pink so that there was some kind of pink light in the build. And I really like how this section looks in live mode. There you can see it kind of, it's so pretty. And then for the last custom haul that I did, I just showed a quick snippet of it because it was kind of tedious as well, as much as the placing the flowers on the front of the build was. So I just took, I think that is from Romantic Garden stuff, and I placed that on the wall, but I placed it very carefully so that it was not coming out on the other side of the wall. And then I rotated some of them as well so that they were horizontal instead of vertical, so that I could fill it up and not make it look like it was the exact same thing that I placed all the time. That's the one thing with, you know, placing things like this or using objects that are not originally meant for it. But even when you do use the objects that are meant for it, like there's the flower, I forget what it's called, but it's almost like vines, but there's flowers on it, and it's specifically from Get Together. Yeah, I think it's from the Get Together pack. And for that, there is no horizontal sections for that. So they all just look kind of the same at the top. And sometimes you don't want that. I use that on my Mediterranean bowl. That's the flowers on the front. And I was trying to rotate it with the tool mod, but for some reason, wall art doesn't rotate with the tool mod. Or not the way I wanted to rotate it. But yeah, so I got these. So I then moved on to decorate the kitchen, which I included because the idea is that if you don't have, for example, get together, so you can't run this as a cafe, then you can at least run it as a bakery, or a what other base game things. But then again, I did also use, I didn't like limit this to a certain pack, so I guess you would need all the packs to get the look. But anyways, I just used debug to fill up some of the sections. So like the sprinkles I got from debug, that piping bag, there we go. I was thinking I was not going to get the word. I also got from debug, and then I just rotated it to lay on the counter. Now I wouldn't have had to go through all of that if I did use CC for this kitchen, because there's this nice pack, CC pack from SimS4, I think it's called, and it's called the Funny Kitchen CC pack. And in that you get whisks, you get a stand mixer, you get cookie cutters, you get baking trays, you get what else, mixing bowls, so you can make a kitchen that like looks like you are baking in that kitchen and you mean business. Also with Home Chef Hustle, I don't have Home Chef Hustle, you get a mixing machine, is that what it's called, an electric mixer, a stand mixer, yeah, you get that. So if you wanna add it to this kitchen, I mean, do so. If you ever change anything in my bowls, I really wouldn't matter. The fact that people are using it warms my heart already. And so for that day, I just wanted to create like the look of these baking trays being thrown there. And yeah, so I just slanted the one, raised it up a little bit, and then slanted it to look as if it was laying on top of the other baking tray that I had already placed there. And I also got those baking trays from debug. So how to get to debug, if you don't know, you need to open the cheats bar, and there's a lot of videos on this. Even if you search it up on Google, you can find it. But if you're new to the Sims, I know I sometimes struggle to find these tips because I feel like in the grand scheme of Sims, I'm fairly new. I only started playing the Sims like 3 years ago when the base game went free. And so if you are new, you would open the cheats bar and put in testing cheats true, and then you put in bb.show hidden objects, I think it's called. There's so many cheats that you can put in there. You can even use money cheats, and that's usually how you will do certain things in the game without having to use mods. So yeah, I'm also just filling up the rest of the shelves with debug items again. And I got those cups from Spa Day debug, but once again, I'm not sure if the cups are gonna stink up the place and your Sims are gonna get a this is a gross place moodlet if I keep the cups there. And this also leads me to the next discussion, which is why the hell don't we have decorative cups in this game yet? I feel like that is a base game object, unless I have missed it. I don't think I have. I've went through this catalog like so many times at this point. There is not a cup. We only got decorative plates with Horse Ranch and I think Snowy Escape as decorative plates. But the fact that we don't have that in base game blows my mind, honestly. And I saw on the roadmap for this quarter, there is a kitchen clutter pack coming out, or kit coming out, which that boggles my mind. It really does, because I do feel like those things should be base game. You don't have decent clutter to decorate the kitchen properly. That doesn't make sense for a life simulation game. That is my one kind of qualm with the game at the moment, is that it seems that for these things that are so normal, we are now having them put in kits and we have to pay for them to have them in the game. That's why I just use CC, but not everybody can use CC. That's the thing. And also, I am currently on on a path of trying to use less CC, but the Sims makes it hard for me. They really do. So initially I did place counters everywhere, but then I forgot that I actually need a fridge, and that Get to Work comes with the warming racks that are for baked goods. So I placed that there instead. And then I also included bathrooms because the Sims needs bathrooms everywhere. And so I made these 2 bathrooms over here just so that your Sims can use them while they are, I guess, at this establishment, and they're not peeing in their pants and stuff like that, because we will not have that here. This is a very pristine establishment, I guess. So yeah, I'm just finishing up these bathrooms, and I just showed snippets of it. So initially I was going to include me decorating the residential lot as well, but I've seen that maybe the shorter videos does a little bit better than the longer ones, and so I thought, you know, let me rather just make a second video of me doing the residential lot. If I'm being quite honest, the residential lot, even though it's really nice, you'll see at the end I do include like some previews of it so that you can decide whether you want to watch it, and also you know what you're getting, or some of what you're getting when you're downloading this build. But for me, the star of the show was the cafe, not necessarily the residential lot. So for this, I got this idea from Pinterest. The outside area, for the outside area, I got the idea from Pinterest. So I once again just used the same kind of idea of raising the couches up in the basement, from the basement, and then putting chairs there so that your Sim could sit there, and these work. I did have a Sim sit there. I just sized the chairs down for this section so that you can also still pick the chair for your Sim to go and sit at. And yeah, I think it turned out really nicely, but I didn't necessarily like the trees, so I wanted to include cherry blossoms. So I decided to also raise the cherry blossoms up from the basement so that they can show. The only issue is there was something wrong with the lighting. Since you are raising it up from the basement, the lighting will be a little bit different for the trees. And so instead of raising it up from the basement, I raised it down from the second floor in the one that I put on the gallery, so that the trees, or the colors of the trees, would still appear as they usually would in game if you're not raising it up from the basement. And there you can see I'm placing more lighting to kind of make the trees appear normal, but they weren't really responding to the lighting well. So I decided rather before posting it to the gallery to raise it down from the second floor, and it won't really affect anything because once there's nothing on the second floor in that section of the build. So then I just placed those lights from City Living. I love a fairy lights. Any kind of lights are my favorite. I always place them in my outside areas, and if I could, I would actually place, or I would have actually placed the tree from Movie Hangout, which has the lights hanging from it, but it was too big. It was way too big. And I saw in the build mode reviews for the new pack, there is a new tree coming with string lights. I'm so excited. You know, it's bad that I would just get that pack just for that tree. It is a terrible thing to say, but yeah, I would. And so I think that is we are towards the end of the build, if I'm not mistaken. And just one more thing that I wanted to mention is we need more high top tables, long high top tables, and I would also love to see in the game a circular marble table with like gold trimmings. We don't have that. We only have wood marble tables at the moment. So that is my hopes for the next few packs. Yeah, so that was, I think, all that I did for this build. I really hope you guys like it. I love it. And like I said, I will be showing kind of the CC version as well. I will include a description or like a little note on the screen that, you know, this is the CC version, and I'll only include the sections that I changed, which is literally only the front where you order, and then the display boxes, like I said. So let me know what you think and give me some ideas for the names for the kit. Not for the kit, for the build. And I will chat to you in the next video. Thank you so much for being here. Bye bye.